Yesterday, RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan spoke, and he spoke about why the cleaning up of PSU banks is important. Let's listen in.
That the message is very clear. We have to clean up bank balance sheets to get the growth that will further help the bank balance sheets get restored to health. So I think the process has to start, and it will become a virtuous circle, which will end in much healthier banks, much stronger support to growth. Indeed, this is the lesson from every situation of financial stress that one has studied across the world. I mean, this used to be my area of academic specialization, and I think the answer is clean up as soon as you can, because then you restore the growth. Don't rely on growth, because it depends to some extent on the cleanup.
Banking analyst Vaibhav Agarwal at Angel Broking is now joining us. Vaibhav, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We heard the speech of the governor that why a cleanup is important in the PSU banking space. Do you think that after the cleanup, they would become better banks for growth going ahead?
Yeah, very clearly. I mean, that makes sense, and that is the only way forward. But there are steps to this. The first step is obviously recognizing the problem. And we believe by fourth quarter, to a very large extent, the quantum of the problem would be visible to everyone. And then is the process of actually, sort of understanding that, okay, this is the amount of provisioning that now has to be made towards these stressed assets. And that gives a picture of, how much capital infusion is required. And in that sense, this budget would also be critical, depending on the amount of capital that they get. Once they are freshly capitalized, they don't have stressed assets in their books, which are unrecognized, toxic assets in the system. That's when, fresh lending can begin at lower rates. The critical part is that right now the good borrowers are also being charged high risk premiums because the system is full of toxic assets. Once these toxic assets are out, the good borrowers can actually get, more rational interest rates. And that's when fresh lending can begin in the economy. So clearly, I mean, these are the set of steps that actually have to take place. And, the good thing is that at least the RBI has kickstarted that process from this quarter.
Right. Do you think that, this cleanup would take a while, as in we've seen, the balance sheets getting worsening for these PSU banks? You think at least 3-4 more quarters, the pain should be there?
Well, in terms of recognition, we believe that a big chunk of it would be, sort of recognized by the fourth quarter itself. We are looking at run rates of slippages in this quarter for banks like PNB or SBI, which are like 3 times, 4 times their run rate in the previous quarters. And, we would not expect that kind of run rate to sustain for 6 quarters, in terms of slippage rates. But yeah, in terms of provisioning, just to give you a simple metric, the amount of stressed assets that SBI has currently, which are unprovided, if you add up the net NPAs, the standard restructured loans, the SDR, the 525, etc., all put together, are almost 3 times their pre-provisioning profits of each year. So it would take almost 3 years of pre-provisioning profits to provide for the whole thing. Now, obviously, the whole thing does not need to be provided for, but even conservatively, if we assume 50% loss, that's a pretty big amount of stressed assets that has to be provided for. So yeah, the provisioning of this would probably continue for the next 4 to 6 quarters. And more importantly, just provisioning through the PNL, may not be enough. Clearly, capital infusion would be required from the government as well.
Right, but capital infusion at these prices, that itself would be book value dilutive?
Yes, it would be hugely dilutive. I mean, obviously less so for, let's say, some of the banks like SBI, which are still not trading as low as some of the other PSU banks. But yeah, as you go down the rung of PSU banks, ironically, the amount of stressed assets is even more. And because of that, obviously, the price to books are, even lower and lower. And hence the amount of dilution would be even bigger and bigger. So, clearly in terms of that spectrum of PSU banks, the middle rung and the smaller ones are clearly, avoidable, because for them the difficulty in absorbing this is of a much higher, sort of exponentially higher than, let's say, a state bank. So within the whole PSU pack, at least State Bank of India looks more capable of absorbing this. getting fresh capital and then probably kickstarting lending, sooner than the other ones.
Right. Vaibhav, just stay on with us. We earlier heard Governor talking about what's happening with the cleanup. Why is it necessary? In the same conference, he spoke about why capitalization is important and what would he be eyeing out for PSU capitalization. Let's listen in.
A lot of work has gone into this review, including many meetings with the government at every level, including the highest. The government has been fully involved and supportive. We've mapped out a variety of scenarios on possible outcomes. The finance minister has indicated that he will support the public sector banks with capital infusions as needed. Our estimate is that the government support that has been indicated will suffice. Our various scenarios also show that private sector banks will not want for regulatory capital as a result of this exercise.
Vaibhav, we heard that Governor said that they expect at RBI that the PSU capitalization from the government may come in at a surprise. Say if it's higher than what the street is anticipating, should that be taken as a positive, or only once we see the cleanup is behind, it would probably mean that one should look at buying into these banks?
Clearly the amount of capitalization is a key number to look at in this budget. And, we do believe that the government would at least look to capitalize the largest PSU banks, A, because of their systemic importance, and B, they are the ones who can really sort of kickstart lending as well for the new projects, whether it be infrastructure or housing, which are the need of the hour even for this government to kickstart. There is a good possibility that they could get a good capital infusion in this budget. Post-budget, there would be clarity on that. Plus, by the end of fourth quarter results, once they are out, the entire quantum of this AQR would also be sort of visible. Post that really, and, looking at the post-dilution book values, where they end up, that's where, one can actually start to make a call on PSU banks. But, like you also mentioned, the provisioning would take some time. So right now itself, we are not buyers in PSU banks yet. But we do believe that, a good start has been made to sort of come towards the end of this problem.
Right. As you said that a lot of provisioning is remaining, or Q4 is expected to be bad now. You still think the prices are already factoring in the cuts that we've seen in the PSU banking space? They are looking particularly sharp. Is there any value in any PSU banking name, or just a sector which one has to avoid?
So, as a whole, we are still, pretty cautious on the PSU space as a whole. But, within that, it's only SBI that still looks relatively, more resilient. Even if you look at the gross NPA numbers, they are, closer to the likes of ICICI Bank. While, if you look at the next rung like PNB, etc., really the quantum of stressed assets is much more. SBI, and even in terms of capitalization, overall, structural strengths, SBI is, better placed than other PSU banks. So that would be our preference, relatively speaking. But I think right now probably, we would still remain a little cautious, simply because the quantum of bad loans that we are seeing, they are exponential to the size of the P&Ls and balance sheets of these banks. So like SBI mentioned, just 3 accounts accounted for 70% of their slippages this quarter. So you're talking about very chunky slippages. So I think it makes sense to wait for the fourth quarter results before plunging in, into these stocks.
Right. As far as private sector banking names are concerned, they would be better off, or again, you would maintain cautious over there?
Well, so, right now our top picks, so we clearly do have a preference for the more retail-oriented banks. So HDFC Bank, which typically, generally is, trading at the kind of premium that prevents us from, making it a top pick. But at this point, from a slightly more defensive standpoint, it is one of our top picks, within the space, because earnings visibility is still good. Quality of the book is pretty impeccable. And apart from that, we like LIC Housing from the NBFC space. So because we believe housing still looks a very attractive sector right now. So it's HDFC Bank and LIC Housing within the BFSI that we would recommend as our top picks right now. Apart from which, we would be a little bit cautious to enter, especially considering there are global concerns and these are high beta stocks. So, now may not be the best time to get outperformance from the rest of the pack.
Vaibhav, thank you so much for taking out time for us. Always a pleasure talking to you. That was a banking analyst view coming in that one should wait, one should stick with the retail-focused bank. But again, they are not trading in cheap. So if there is decline, one should buy into these names. Nifty, meanwhile, is down 5%, absolutely flat. The good thing is that we've recovered 5 points, not percent, sorry.